Also have a special guest who we know has a few other things that he has to take care of in the rest of the day, and we want to thank him for coming over this morning, and that is Judge Friday from the Alabama Supreme Court. And he has done what is officially required, is to swear in and tell them that everything that they have to do now for the next 4 years will have to be done with a voice towards the Alabama community college system. The last part I added. But we want to thank Judge Friday for being here with us this morning and conducting that solemn oath of swearing our newest trustees in. So they are now technically already sworn in and official. So thank him, and we really appreciate his presence this morning. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Judge.
So we seem to have a reasonably full house this morning, and that is always good because that denotes interest in what we're doing. So I think it's now, at least by my watch, I think we're right at 10 o'clock, and so we can officially get started. We'll say good morning again. And the meeting of the Alabama Community College System Board of Trustees is called to order at 10 o'clock this morning. For those of you who may be joining us virtually, we thank you as well for being a part of and having interest in what the work is done on at your local communities on 24 campuses, 130 locations around the state. And the men and women who also serve as presidents of those universities and their leaders, we thank them for their leadership and their commitment to education and access as well. Through the course of the morning, you will hear more about what they're doing, what their plans are, and all the things that it takes to keep the system and its colleges running. Today is a very special day in the life of the board. It is not every meeting that we get to welcome new trustees to the board. We had some seasoned trustees who have departed, which we were able to say farewell to them, but not goodbye last night, who were a part of the original trustees as well. So there were two of whom were original trustees. I'll call them the original band, plus now Representative Matt Wood, who has moved over and is in the legislature. So the three of them, we wish them well in their latest endeavors. For those family members that have come out this morning, thank you for supporting your loved one in this journey as well, and we are happy to have you here. This meeting, it takes a lot to get ready for, and that is a lot of documentation, a lot of preparation, both within this building as well as on the campuses, and we appreciate all of the effort that it has taken to bring us here and have us ready to go forward this morning. So we thank the Chancellor and his staff, as well as the presidents and their staffs for their role in getting us ready for this meeting. But as has always been said here, at least in the last year or two, we remain laser focused on student success and remain true to our core mission, that of education, workforce development, and academic transfer. We always like to start the meeting off with someone or something relating to the faith community. No matter what your faith may be, we think it is very important to acknowledge that there is a presence that moves beyond us that are here. This morning, we are happy to have a member of the faith community joining us, and that is Pastor Kenny Holmes from the First Baptist Church of Montgomery. I'll share a bit about his background, and trust me, these pithy remarks will not do his experience any justice, but we will share them to at least whet your appetite. He's a Bruton native, or at least he lives in Bruton, Alabama now. That's his hometown. He was called into the ministry as a senior in high school and has had the privilege of serving on the staff at 6 different churches. He's had the honor of serving as associate pastor at First Baptist Church Montgomery since 2003. Pastor Holmes has also been blessed to play an active role in the local association and the state convention and written for Lifeway Christian Resources since 1986. He's married to Donna Reeves Holmes of Atmore, Alabama, and is blessed with 2 sons, 2 daughters-in-law, and 4 grandchildren. He says he will be glad to show you pictures of those little grands. Just all you have to do is ask. He also provided a verse for us, which I think is fitting. And whatever you do, whether in word or deed, do it all in the name of Lord Jesus, giving thanks to God the Father through him. Pastor Holmes.
Thank you so much. And I failed to mention that while in Bruton, growing up there, that I am a product of Jefferson Davis Junior College from way back in the 20th century. But it's an honor to be with you. Let's pray together. Father, we thank you for the gift of this day. Your word proclaims, "This is the day the Lord has made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it." As we begin these summer months, may we be reminded that you are in control of our world. And may today's weather once again remind us of our need for you and for your protection in our lives. And may the warmth of the sun that will follow remind us of your love and your calling in our lives. This day is a gift from you, and so may we be thankful, productive people with this gift that you have given. Lord, we thank you for these leaders that are before us this day, and particularly these new trustees that are just beginning this journey of service. May all of us remember your words, "To whom much is given, much is also required." And so we pray that these leaders, all of them, will be faithful to their title, to their position, and more importantly, to their responsibilities. We know it's no accident that you brought us all together this day. As Esther of old, you have placed us in this room for such a time as this. We can't change what has happened in the past, but we know that with your help, we can make a difference in the future. And so we ask that you would give these people the courage of Esther, the wisdom of Solomon, the vision of John, and the hope of the Apostle Paul. As the hymn writer of old proclaimed, may give them strength for today and bright hope for the future. May this team make the best decisions possible for the state of Alabama, for our college systems, our college students, and our future leaders. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor Holmes, for those wonderful words. Would you join me in standing to say the Pledge of Allegiance? Attention, salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Secretary, would you perform a roll call for us, please?
Mr. Jeb Shell. Mr. Jeb Shell. Mr. John Mitchell.
Present.
Ms. Valerie Gray.
Present.
Mr. Goodrich Rogers.
Present.
Mr. Ron Houston.
Present.
Mr. Levelyn Roan.
Present.
Mr. John McCartney.
Present.
Tim McCartney. Mr. Britton Lightsey.
Present.
Dr. Yvette Richardson.
Present.
Governor Kay Ivey. You have a quorum.
Thank you, Ms. Wilk. Next on our agenda is approval of the agenda. Our agenda was distributed in advance to the board members for their review, and I will now entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
We have a motion by Mr. Dust. Need a second, please?
Second.
They have second motion by Mr. Houston. All those in favor show by the sign of aye or a voice vote. Thank you. It passes. All in favor of approving, you've already done that, so I've taken care of that. So we next have for the approval of the minutes from our May 10th, 2023 meeting. Our minutes, similar, were distributed in advance to the members of the board for their review. I will now entertain a motion to approve the minutes of our April meeting.
So moved.
We have We have a motion by Ms. Gray, seconded by Mr. Dust. All those that are in favor, either raise your hand or a voice vote. So approved. Next, we have public comment. Ms. Wilkins, did we have anyone sign up for public comment? Seeing none, we will actually move to the next item on our agenda. During each of these meetings, we are very pleased to have one of our colleges highlighted. Today, we are proud to have Dr. From the folks at Wallace-Selma join us. Dr. Mitchell, would you please join us?
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Chairman Roan, members of the board, Chancellor Baker, thank you for allowing us to be here this morning. Wallace Community College is proud to present to you the Ahmad family. At Wallace, we believe we are not only impacting just individuals, but families. And this family highlighted this morning is a shining example of that. Mr. Muhammad Ahmadinejad came from Yemen to New York City many years ago and began working at an early age because he believed in hard work. He later married and had a family, and while in the United States, he did not complete his high school diploma or attend college. But he understood the importance of education and encouraged his 6 children to pursue their education at both the secondary and higher education level. He strongly encouraged education and hard work in his home. On May 12th, he witnessed 3 of his daughters graduate from Wallace Community College. Ama, associate degree in nursing, Sarah, associate degree in nursing, and Suhail, associate in science. His son, Yusef, is currently enrolled at Wallace Community College. Please welcome Suhail and Ama here to discuss their experience at Wallace Community College, Selma.
Hello, my name is Amber Almajadid. It takes a lot of courage to be a first-generation college student. Not knowing where to start or what questions to ask was very challenging. I started at Wallace Community College right after graduating high school. I chose Wallace primarily because of the close proximity. I appreciated the opportunity to begin my first 2 years of college in my hometown. My initial plan was to obtain my basics at Wallace and then transfer to a 4-year institution to obtain my Bachelor's of Science in Nursing. However, after obtaining my associates in science, my love for Wallace and its staff led me to obtain my nursing degree from there too. Wallace truly feels like home to me. The instructors and counselors are like family. My counselor, Ms. Chapman, is one of the best people I have ever encountered. She goes above and beyond to meet every student's specific needs. Her words of encouragement are truly motivating, especially at times when I felt like I wasn't where I needed to be. I was also honored to become a part of the Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society. I was able to recruit members to donate blood to the blood drive, and in the process became a first-time blood donor. It was a beautiful feeling, the feeling of giving to save a life. As I reflect back on my nursing school experience, I am amazed to realize how much I have accomplished. I now have the abilities as well as the confidence I need to be a truly outstanding nurse. I am eager to continue learning in my role as a professional nurse. I plan to attend the University of Alabama this fall to obtain my Bachelor's of Nursing as I work as a labor and delivery nurse. Go Patriots.
Okay. My name is Suhail Majadid. My experience at Wallace Community College Selma began during high school. Wallace has granted me the opportunity to substitute some of my high school classes while attaining my associate's degree. Wallace Community College Selma was the perfect fit for me due to its low cost and community feel. I was able to meet and engage with several great people on campus. My counselor, Ms. Chapman, has enhanced my experience here as an individual through programs offered here at Wallace Community College Selma. We have gone on many amusing field trips through the Student Support Services program offered at Wallace. This program has provided us the privilege of touring different universities and what they have to offer. This campus encourages students to succeed. Wallace has an intimate feel which creates a strong bond with inspiring instructors, counselors, and classmates. And of course, go Patriots.
Thank you. And I think these students/graduates truly, again, affirm our very reason for being. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mitchell. I think that is such a wonderful message in terms of, it's a family affair for sure, when you have 3 recent graduates and 1 current student in the family. So I don't know of the other remaining siblings if they are coming along or have already have other plans, but I think there's definitely an affinity between the Amajon family and Wallace, in which we are so thankful for Amber and Suhail for sharing their experiences and what their future plans are, particularly given the role that Wallace, in our case, the community college, has played in their future endeavors. And we wish you all the best of luck as you continue with your studies. Thank you. Next up, we have item number 8, which is under our executive, legal, and public information. A1 is from Reed State Technical College, and that item reads as follows. It is recommended that the Alabama Community College System Board of Trustees approve the current mission statement of Reed State Technical College. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
It has been moved by Mr. Mitchell. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Rogers. Any further discussion? If not, please show your preference by raising your hand or by voice. The item passes. We'll move to the next item on our agenda, and that is from George C. Wallace Community College, Dothan. It is recommended that the Alabama Community College System Board of Trustees approve the revised mission statement of George C. Wallace Community College, Dothan. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
It has been moved by Mr. Mitchell. Second? I need a second.
Second.
Second by Mr. McCartney. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please show your preference by a show of hands or voice vote. It is approved. Next, we have a motion, item from Ingram State Technical College. It is recommended that the Alabama Community College System Board of Trustees approve the current mission statement of Ingram State Technical College.
So moved.
It's been moved by Ms. Gray. Second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Houston. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please show your preference by raising your hand or voice vote. It is approved. Next, we have an item from Wallace State Community College, Hansfield. It is recommended that the Alabama Community College System Board of Trustees authorize the Alabama Community College System on behalf of Wallace State College, Hansfield, to purchase property and a dwelling located at 717 Section Line Road Northwest. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
I have a motion by Mr. Rogers. A second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. McCartney. Any further discussion? Seeing none, show your preference by a show of hands or voice vote. It passes. Next, we have an item from Enterprise State Community College. It is recommended that the Alabama Community College System Board of Trustees authorize Enterprise State Community College to increase the special building fee from $10 to $12 per credit hour. The fee will take effect fall semester 2023. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
It's been moved by Mr. Mitchell,
Second.
second by Ms. Gray. Any further discussion? Seeing none, show your preference, please, by a show of hands or a voice vote. It is approved. Next, we have an item from Snead State Community College. It is recommended that the Alabama Community College System Board of Trustees authorize Snead State Community College to increase the rental rate for the college's dorms and to increase the board rate meal plan. The rate increase will take effect fall semester 2023.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
It's been moved by Mr. Lightsey,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Dust, excuse me. Please show, any further discussion? Showing none, please show your preference by a show of hands or a voice vote. Next, we have an item from Northwest Shoals Community College. It is recommended that the Alabama Community College System Board of Trustees approve Northwest Shoals Community College's application for an associate in applied science and clinical/medical lab technician to be implemented fall semester 2024. Motion?
So moved.
Mr. Goodrich has made a motion, a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Houston. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please show your preference by a show of hands or a voice vote. It is approved. Next item we have from Lurleen B. Wallace Community College. It is recommended that the Alabama Community College System Board of Trustees approve Lurleen B. Wallace Community College's application for an associate and applied science degree in salon and spa management to be implemented fall semester 2023. Do I have a motion? Motion by Mr. Mitchell,
Second.
second by Mr. Lightsey. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please show your preference by a show of hands or a voice vote. It is approved. Next up, we have an item from Enterprise State Community College. It is recommended that the Alabama Community College System Board of Trustees approve Enterprise State Community College's application for an associate in applied science and nursing to be implemented in the spring semester of 2024. Do you have a motion? So moved. Motion by Mr. Mitchell,
Second.
second by Ms. Gray. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please show your preference by a show of hands or a voice vote. It is approved. Next item is from Central Alabama Community College. It is recommended that the Alabama Community College System Board of Trustees approve Central Alabama Community College's application for an associate in applied science and certificate in marine industry technology to be implemented in the fall semester of 2023. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
So motion by Mr. McCartney,
Second.
second from this side. Ms. Gray, any further discussion? Seeing none, please show your preference by a show of hands or a voice vote. It is approved. Next item is from Trenholm State Community College. It is recommended that the Alabama Community College System Board of Trustees authorize Trenholm State Community College to proceed with the replacement of existing signage at the entrance of the Trenholm campus and the Patterson campus with new monument electronic signage marquees. Construction contract shall be executed no later than September 1st, 2023, or this authorization shall expire.
Motion.
It has been moved by Mr. Lightsey. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Houston. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please show your preference by a show of hands or voice vote. Next up, we have from Trenholm State Community College. It is recommended that the Alabama Community College System Board of Trustees authorize Trenholm State Community College to proceed with the project Security System Solution for Trenholm and Patterson campuses. The scope of work for this project will include the installation of security cameras, access controls, card swipes, and thermal imaging cameras for all buildings located on the Trenholm and Patterson campuses. Construction contracts shall be executed no later than September 1st, 2023, or this authorization shall expire. Do I have a motion? I have a motion by Mr. Mitchell. Need a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Goodrich. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please show your preference by a show of hands or a voice vote? It is approved. Next, we have an item from the Chattahoochee Valley Community College. It is recommended that the Alabama Community College System Board of Trustees authorize Chattahoochee Valley Community College to proceed with construction of the project named softball field renovation. The project scope includes repositioning the field, storm drainage, ADA compliant access to the new facility, new dugouts, and backstop netting. Construction contract shall be executed no later than September 1st, 2023, or this authorization shall expire. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
I have a motion by Ms. Gray,
Second.
second by Mr. Lightsey. Show your preference, please, by a show of hands or a voice vote. It is approved. Next up, we have an item from the Chattahoochee Valley Community College. It is recommended that the Alabama Community College System Board of Trustees authorize Chattahoochee Valley Community College to proceed with the project named Industrial Training Center Welding Shop Renovation. Construction contracts for the Industrial Training Center Welding Shop shall be executed no later than September 1st, 2023, or this authorization shall expire. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
I have a motion by Ms. Gray, second by Mr. Mitchell. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please show your preference by a show of hands or a voice vote. It is approved. Next up, we have a resolution approving and authorizing the chancellor to complete negotiations and execute final construction contracts for capital improvement projects. I will read a portion of this, not all of it. Whereas the Board of Trustees of the Alabama Community College System was established by Act Number 2015-125, the Act of the Alabama Legislature, and approved as law by the Governor of Alabama on May 5th, 2025, and whereas pursuant to the Act, the Alabama Community College System, the ACCS, was created and is now governed by the Board of Trustees created by the Act. And whereas the Act authorizes the Board to appoint a chancellor who serves as the Chief Executive Officer of the ACCS to assist the Board in carrying out its authority and responsibility. And whereas pursuant to the authority vested in the Chancellor under the Act and prescribed by the Board's policies, the Chancellor has the authority and responsibility subject to the approval of the Board for the operation, management, and improvement of the community and technical colleges, including but not limited to the management and supervision of capital improvement programs and expenditures. I will cease reading this entire resolution just in the interest of time and move to the concluding paragraph, which indicates, now therefore it be resolved that the Chancellor, in accordance with applicable Alabama laws, rules, and guidelines, is hereby authorized and directed to immediately commence negotiations of the final terms and conditions of the construction contracts for the above identified projects, and upon completion of negotiations to award and execute final construction contracts to commence the projects. Do I have a motion for this resolution?
So moved.
I have a motion by Mr. Goodrich,
Second.
second by Mr. Lightsey. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please show your preference by a show of hands or a voice vote. The resolution is approved. Next, we have a special procurement of products and services for the ACCS Enterprise Resource Platform coming from the Alabama Community College System. It is recommended that the Alabama Community College System Board of Trustees authorize the Chancellor to engage in a special procurement for a 5-year engagement with Elucian, for hosted subscription and cloud software. The contract will include 1, renewal of the core and product components of the system's existing enterprise resource platform, 2, upgraded hosted subscription, and managed cloud services for the enterprise services platform and related software, and 3, software development maintenance services for the enterprise resource platform related services. This special procurement is for the benefit of the Alabama Community College System Office, the community and technical colleges, and the Alabama Technology Network. Do I have a motion?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
I have a motion from Mr. Houston. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. McCartney. Any further discussion on this action item? Hearing none, please show your preference by a show of hands or a voice vote. It is approved. Next up, we have an item from Shelton State Community College. It is recommended that the Alabama Community College System Board of Trustees authorize the president of Shelton State Community College to expend $613,940 for the purchase of two 43-passenger buses. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
I have a motion from Mr. Lightsey,
Second.
second by Ms. Gray. Any further discussion? Hearing none, please show your preference by a show of hands or a voice vote. It is approved. Now I'm going to take a swig of water. Next up, we actually have section 9, Instruction, Research, and Development, Adult Education Facilities, Physical Information Technology, and Workforce Development, which we've actually covered those. So we will now move into personnel. It's fine.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I'm Charlene Finkelstein with the Human Resources Department, and I have 6 talented new additions to the staff to introduce to you. First of all, we have Ms. Marlo Young. Marlo, would you stand? Marlo is our new Community Outreach Navigator for Adult Education. She has almost a decade of experience in mental health and higher education. She served over 4 years at Coastal Alabama Community College as an adult education and ready-to-work instructor and as a career pathways coach and instructional coordinator. She's also served as a ready-to-work instructor at Bishop State Community College. She most recently served as mental health service coordinator for the Escambia County Board of Education. She has a bachelor's degree in psychology from Alabama State University and 2 master's degrees in adult and continuing education with focuses on general studies and counseling and psychology. She is based at Coastal Alabama Community College. Thank you, Marlo. Next, we have Michelle Tapia. Michelle is also a community outreach navigator for the Adult Education Department. She comes to us from the great state of New Mexico. She has served in the banking industry and also as an admissions counselor for Highlands University in New Mexico, and most recently served as student success coach at Highlands University in New Mexico. She has a bachelor's degree in English from New Mexico Highlands University and a master's in communication from Eastern New Mexico University. Thank you. Jonathan Catrett. Jonathan is a new curriculum manager for our new Innovation Center. He has over 16 years of experience in higher education, the last 12 of which was at Enterprise State Community College. He has served as an instructor at Enterprise State as well as Troy University, South University, and Faulkner University. He was most recently the QEP director for Enterprise State Community College. He has bachelor's and master's degrees from Troy University in biology and environmental science, respectively. He also has a master's in business administration from Faulkner University. Jonathan is based at Central Alabama's Prattville campus. Thank you. Jeffrey Payne, would you stand? Jeffrey is our new network engineer in our IT department. He has over 13 years of experience exclusively in the information technology field. He served as network engineer and IT specialist both in the business world and for the state of Alabama's Office of Information Technology. He was a senior network engineer in the medical field where he provided network support for over 250 surgical care facilities. He most recently served as the Information Security Engineering Manager at the Office of Information Technology. Thank you. Colin Eubanks. Colin is a new technical architect for our IT department. He has over 24 years of experience in information technology at Jefferson State Community College. He served at Jeff State as an instructor, an IT specialist, and assistant IT director, and most recently as their chief information officer. He earned an associate's degree from Jefferson State Community College in computer information systems. He went on to earn a bachelor's in biology and a master's in IT management, both from the University of Alabama. Colin is based at Jeff State Community College. Thank you. And last but not least, we have Elijah Baker. Elijah, would you stand? Although Elijah's young, he has over 7 years of experience in the journalism field. He's our new communications, engagement, and special projects coordinator. He has served as a news anchor, producer, and multimedia journalist for 2 local news stations in Michigan and Huntsville, Alabama. He most recently served as the public relations coordinator at Drake State Community College. He has a Bachelor of Arts in Journalism honors from Wayne State University. So please help me welcome all these new talented people to our staff. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Finkelstein. Well, a hearty welcome to all of you, Ms. Young, Ms. Tappian, Cattrack, Mr. Payne, Ms. Eubanks, and Mr. Baker. And you are the newest employees, at least for the moment, to the ACCS system, and we welcome you with open arms, and thank you for being with us this morning. Next up, we have item 11, which is the Chancellor's report. Mr. Chancellor.
As usual, I want to give you a report on our enrollment and student activities. We'll ask Taylor here. Okay. Taylor's been with us, and Taylor has been with us through a lot of activity over many years. She's been our resident expert in student finance and a variety of other roles, so.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. So my PowerPoint says Neil Scott. I am not Neil Scott. I'm Taylor Hillier. I serve as the Director of Student Life here at ACCS in the Student Success Division. Honored to work with Neil. He is out today with one of his children, so I am stepping in. It's always easy to step in and share good news. So I have good news thanks to all the hard work from our colleges, their presidents, and all of their staff. So I am, let's see, is this one the right one? All right, perfect. So we'll start with summer of 23. Currently, we have over 46,000 students enrolled for summer of 23, which is a 10.62% headcount increase from year to year. So summer of 22 to summer of 23, we are up 11% in headcount. And that equates to 21 of our 23 colleges that offer summer. We have one college that does not do summer courses, but they are all up in headcount as well. If this all stands to hold, these students are taking 330,000 credit hours this summer, which is an 11% increase over last summer. And 21 of the 23 colleges are also up in headcount as well, or credit hour production as well, I'm sorry. So we do not have a lot of fall of 23 data. Our colleges are working around the clock, holding registration events, outreach for current students, as well as new and incoming students. Currently, right now, there is a 15% increase in applications year to year date. So we are up there, which is very, very exciting, which should lead to an increase in credit hour production as well, if that stands to hold. And 21 of the 24 colleges are ahead in fall applications. I think it's really, really important to point out we're not only up in first-time freshman applications, as you can see here, we are up in 4 different areas. We are up 14.15% in freshmen, 7.1% increase in applications for transfer students, 25% for dual enrollment, and readmit returning, we're up to 11%. And I think this just really shows the hard work our colleges are doing for outreach, are working with Wiley and all the other initiatives they have going on right now to reach not only, like I said, first-time freshmen, but other populations in their communities to get them enrolled back in school. Also, we broke it down by age because we thought it was really important. We showed you the types, now the ages. And this just shows you 16 and younger, almost 31%. But look at the 45 to 54. We're up 17.53% of individuals between the ages of 45 and 54 years of age, which is very, very exciting. And it shows that we're really out there reaching our workforce to get them more educated and get them into our colleges in hopes to, get them a better job or advancement in their current career. And then that is all I was tasked to do from Neil. So do y'all have any questions for me as far as the enrollment? Like I said, it's always easy to share good news. We're excited. Thank you all for your support, and thank you all to the presidents for all of your hard work that you're doing. It makes it a lot easier to get up here and share the good news.
Chancellor, I don't have a question, but I think that deserves not only an ovation, but a standing ovation for our presidents and their staff and everybody that's doing that. So I think that's fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you, Taylor. You know, what you just heard serves us well every year when we go talk to the legislators about a budget and other issues that we have to deal with. I've asked Boone if he will give us a report, but I might remind you of something. We are already working on next year's session. We try to stay a year or two behind. No, I'm talking about really behind. We need more. And we don't want to ask for everything at one time. We need to spell out what the growth is and what we're looking at down the road so they can understand the total scheme behind what you're doing in your school. You can't get it all done on the moment, at the moment. But as we develop plans, we want the legislature to have access to our plans for the future. Boone?
Yes, sir. Good morning, Chairman Rohn and trustees. Like the Chancellor said, we took a day, maybe a day and a half to rest after the session ended last Tuesday, and now we're all ready to work on what we're planning for next year. But as I said, the legislative session ended last week, 2023 session. It was a busy session, and it really was an unprecedented legislative session in terms of the amount of funding that was appropriated. All told, the legislature appropriated close to $15 billion this year in funding, which included the second round of federal ARPA funding. It included both state education and general fund budgets for fiscal year 24, as well as education and general fund supplemental appropriation bills for this fiscal year. So a lot of activity around the budgets and appropriations bills. Proud to report that the ACCS received significant funding increases from two of those bills, the Education Trust Fund budget and the Education Supplemental Appropriations bill. I wanted to spend a little bit of time briefly just kind of going through what was in those bills for the ACCS. In the FY24 Education Trust Fund budget, ACCS received a total year-over-year increase of just over $35.5 million. The bulk of this increase, which was right at $29 million, was for operations and maintenance funding. That's the funding that you all appropriate that goes directly to the colleges that they have the most flexibility in to use at their institutions. This funding included a 2% pay raise for community college employees, as well as an addition of a 30-year step increase on the ACCS salary schedules, which you all will see in your work session a bit later. Dual enrollment scholarships received a $4.5 million increase year over year. Career coaches received a $2.5 million increase year over year, which is something we had been asking for an increase on for several years. Marion Military Institute, which is outside of the O&M appropriation, received a $475,000 increase. The Chancellor's Office received a little over a $300,000 increase. $200,000 was provided for the STEAM grant program. The Adult Education Office received a $150,000 increase, and the Alabama Technology Network received a $106,000 increase. So while that's all great and very good budget, ongoing year-over-year budget for us, the bulk of the increases that we received this year came through the supplemental appropriations bill. A lot of work went into that, working with legislators, specifically on one-time projects that are ongoing or will take place here in the near future. Proud to report that the ACCS in one-time appropriations for one-time expenses received over $486 million. The breakdown of that, $103 million was for prison education initiatives, $30 million for career tech facilities and equipment, $5 million for deferred maintenance, renovations, and ongoing capital projects, $1 million for the ACCS Innovation Center, $200,000 for a new Alabama short-term credentialing scholarship program, which will be administered by the ACCS. $316 million was provided specifically for various college-specific projects. Each college was designated for funding of various projects ranging from $7.5 million to $21 million. These include workforce training centers that are going to be built in various locations in the state, as well as other projects that will eventually come before this board for approval. There was also $31 million that was provided for the Centers for Rural Healthcare Opportunities Initiative. These will be training centers that are focused on healthcare programs that will be in partnership with local hospitals and other healthcare providers. So all told, the ACCS received right at $522 million of funding, of new funding in this legislative cycle. This is an unprecedented amount of funding provided to the ACCS and really shows the level of confidence and support that Alabama's legislature has in the community college system right now. And I want you to know that your vision and guidance from this Board of Trustees is a big part of that confidence. I hear it all the time from our legislators, how much faith and trust they have in this Board of Trustees. I want to publicly thank all the presidents at our colleges. They really stepped up and helped advocate for this funding and for specific projects at their colleges. It made the world of difference this year, and why we came out as well as we did in the legislative process. It truly was a team effort this year, so thank all of you presidents. So what's next? So the legislature will be back sooner rather than later because they're going to have to redraw Alabama's congressional map based on a U.S. Supreme Court decision last week, and we expect them to come back sometime this summer to do that, could possibly even next month. Absent any other special sessions, the legislature will convene the 2024 legislative session in February of 2024. So again, I want to thank this board and all the support that you all provided during this session. We're really going to be able to move some things forward with this level of funding that has been provided. And it was also a pleasure to be able to work with the new trustees to get through the confirmations process this year. So welcome to you all, and I look forward to working with each of you. Does anyone have any questions for me?
Well, Boone, to say that's a yeoman's job would be an understatement. When you look at $522 million in new funding to support, as you mentioned, the vision and the work that's being done and that will be done on the campuses is just outstanding. To have that much, faith paste you with a dollar sign. And I think that's no small way related to the effort of you, your team, and the chancellor and the rest of the folks here and outside of this building to make sure that the message of what the community college system stands for, as evidenced in, we heard the firsthand accounts from two very recent graduates this morning, that investing in our people of Alabama does make a difference. And it's good to see that our legislative friends across the street share that sentiment and actually put the checkbook where they are so that the words and the figures add up. But there's still more work to come, Chancellor, as you said, because we stay behind to get ahead.
That's right.
And so we thank you, Boone, again, for all the good work that you guys have done.
Thank you. Thanks to each of you.
Thank you, Boone. Thank you, Chancellor.
Anything else, Chancellor?
Yes, Vicki Olson. I've asked Vicki to give us an update. Vicki, well, I'm gonna leave it to you and then I'll talk, okay?
Okay. I do have some, thank you, whoever's managing the slides, that's great. I want to give you today, board members and Chancellor Baker, I'd like to give you an update on Instruction, Research, and Development, which is the name of the division that I lead right now here at ACCS. And I believe I can advance the slide. There we go. Every board meeting, it seems like we have an update on enrollment, and those numbers have been wonderful. And they've been wonderful for over the past year. But I thought you might be interested to see where exactly those students are going in our colleges. So the graph that you see in front of you is a breakout of our students' majors by sector. And what you'll see is that the transfer students occupy about 34% of our student population. 20% of the students are in career and technical education programs. 11% are in health science programs, and a whopping 36% of our students are classified as audit, transient, or dual enrollment students. And of course, dual enrollment makes up the largest by far share of that sector. Over the last 5 years, you can see what the trends are in these sectors for enrollment. This goes back to 2018 to 2019, all the way through this past academic year, 2022 to 2023. You'll see our transfer population was 43% 5 years ago. It has gone down each year to 34% this year. CTE has held basically steady the entire time at 20%, and health has pretty much remained steady, 12 or 11%. But the audit, transient, and dual enrollment population has increased from 25% to 36%. So that's not a bad thing, but I think what it shows is that a lot of our students that we would normally be getting into our transfer programs after they graduate from high school are now getting into those programs while they are in high school. And so they're starting earlier, so we're classifying them differently, but they're still there. This is shows you a line graph of that same information, and you can see the blue and the yellow line basically starting to converge over time. That's the transfer student population, that classification going down, and the audit, transient, and dual enrollment population going up. Where are these students going in terms of programs? So I wanted to highlight today for you some of our programs that are growing, either in one fashion or another. Some of these are not impressive raw numbers, but they're impressive in terms of percentages. For example, we have a new histologic technician program at Jeff State in Birmingham that started out as a brand new program in 21-22 with 15 students, and it grew to 38 students over the past year. That's over 150% increase in 1 year, and a 258% increase over the average for the 5 years. Our aeronautical and aerospace engineering technology program increased from 47 students to 114 students. And that program is primarily at Calhoun Community College and Bishop State Community College. And you can see that the growth there is from 47 students in 21-22 to 114 students in 22-23. That's over 140% increase over that 2-year period and a 250% increase over the 5-year average. These are examples of programs that have had a 5-year enrollment high. So maybe their year-over-year change is not as dramatic, or maybe their percent change over the 5-year period is not as dramatic, but this year they reached an all-time enrollment high over the last 5 years. And I know all of you who have ever suffered with a stubbornly clogged sink or a backed-up toilet, we are all happy to see that the numbers in a plumbing program are going up from 47 5 years ago to 77 today, which is a 30% change year over year and a 46% change over the 5-year average. Civil engineering technology at Gadsden State Community College has increased from 65 students 5 years ago to 86 students in the last year, which is almost a 23% year-over-year increase and a 24% increase over the 5-year average. Business administration has an all-new high enrollment of 1,932 students, which is 75 students more than last year. Aircraft power plant technology is enrolling 244 students this year, which is only a 5-student increase over the last year, but a great increase over the 5-year period, a 50% increase over the 5-year average. Computer and information sciences, we're all happy to see that we have a new 5-year high enrollment of 2,434 students, which is 128 students more than we had last year in computer science, which is a field that is greatly in demand across the state. And in office management and supervision, we have an all-time 5-year high enrollment of 648 students, which is 69 more than we had last year, a 12% year-over-year increase, and 7% increase over the 5-year average. And these are programs that to me stood out because they're sort of like all-stars in a respect. They've done a lot of things well. They have noteworthy increases in both year-over-year headcount and a year-over-year percent increase and a 5-year enrollment high. And they include barbering, carpentry, electrician, dental hygiene, automobile mechanics, mechanics and repairs in general, cosmetology, licensed practical nursing, and salon management. And I wanted to let you know, we update you every quarter on the new short-term certificates that have been submitted by our colleges and recognized by the Alabama Commission on Higher Education for implementation. These are items that don't come before you as a board to be approved. You don't necessarily have to vote on these, and neither does ACE. They do not have to approve these, but they recognize them and they are put into the official academic inventory. And at the June meeting of the Alabama Commission on Higher Education, these short-term certificates were recognized. Calhoun Community College had non-destructive testing and equipment service electrical. Central Alabama Community College has marine technician fundamentals and marine technician service. Drake State Community and Technical College had automotive technology for electric vehicles, and Shelton State Community College has a short-term certificate in business administration. I also wanted to spotlight for you an example of innovation among our instructional programs at our colleges. This is just one example, but it's noteworthy because it is the first time that I know of that we have had a college that has intentionally designed an Associate of Science degree that exceeds 64 credit hours. The guidance has been given to our colleges that Associate of Science and Associate of Arts degrees are typically 60 to 64 credit hours. There is no law, no regulation that says that that has to be the case. It is just typical that we have done that because we don't want to encourage our colleges to set up transfer degrees where they are setting students up to take credits that will not all transfer to a four-year college. And there is a 50% cap on what can be transferred into a baccalaureate program. So since most baccalaureate programs don't exceed 128 credit hours, we encourage our colleges to maintain a 64 credit hour limit on these transfer programs. But this program was intentionally designed in partnership with Auburn University. It is part of the Pathway to the Plains concurrent enrollment agreement. And this is just the newest edition of a transfer pathway to Auburn University for the students at Southern Union. This one is focused on nursing, and it has 68 semester credit hours total. 53 of those hours will be taught by Southern Union. 15 of the credit hours will be taught by Auburn University while those students are still enrolled at Southern Union. So no transfer limits are being violated because only 53 hours will actually be transferred forward from the community college to the four-year institution. Students will complete all of their prerequisite nursing courses in the AS degree that they complete at Southern Union. They will apply to be accepted to the Bachelor of Nursing degree at Auburn University. And if accepted, then they will move forward with an AS degree that serves as the perfect foundation for their work in the Bachelor of Nursing program at Auburn. This is, again, an expansion of the concurrent enrollment agreement with Auburn University. It's a pathway to the Plains. And several of our colleges are doing concurrent enrollment agreements with their four-year partners. This is an example of one that is an absolute win-win, mostly for the student, but also for both institutions that are involved. I'd also like to update you on one of our student-centered initiatives that our division is involved with. Ad Astra is scheduling software that puts students first. We are implementing this in all of our colleges. 2 of our college cohorts have already started training, and a 3rd cohort will start on June 22nd. This will help our colleges design and implement semester course schedules that are truly based on student need. What it does is it works hand in hand with our Banner student information system and its Degree Works feature, which allows the software to look at individual student degree plans. And it will look to see what Jane Doe needs this coming semester in terms of coursework. And it will look to see when other courses that have already been scheduled might conflict with the scheduling of a course that Jane needs. It is very, very powerful. It is aligned with Complete College America strategies. It's going to enhance our college's capacity for student retention and completion. And we are working hard right now in getting our personnel at the colleges trained in this, and they're excited about implementing it. And most of all, it should benefit our students greatly. Another update on a student-centered initiative that our division is working on is the Alabama Talent Triad. We are in a pilot project phase of this. This is a system that has been designed by the state of Alabama to connect students with jobs using skills-based job descriptions and verified credentials. It's a partnership between ACCS, the Department of Commerce, and the Governor's Office of Education and Workforce Transformation, and EBSCO is leading the technology on this project. We have 7 ACCS colleges that volunteered to serve as pilot colleges for this system. They're Lawson State, Shelton State, Snead State, Jefferson State, Northeast Alabama Community College, Wallace Community College at Dothan, and Wallace State Community College in Huntsville. Those colleges together are recruiting 1,000 students to participate in this pilot. And what these students will do is establish accounts that will hold what we call digital wallets. And those digital wallets will be populated with the credentials that they have earned at our colleges. More than that, those credentials will have individual skills tied to them. So an employer will know exactly what a student is capable of doing. The employers that are participating in this will design job descriptions that are competency-based. The system will then match the student's skills with the skills required for the job, and there will be a connection made. The student can accept the connection and can apply for the job, or they can decline if they so choose. But this will match people with jobs in the most effective way possible. This is going to increase our college's capacity for placement services, which is always something that is hard to fund. And we have already submitted the first verified student credential that was done on May 18th. The next phase of this project is the establishment of those skills associated with those credentials, and then figuring out how to make this work in the long run so that it's a fully automated process and so that our students are enrolled in it automatically with an opt-out provision rather than an opt-in provision. And lastly, when Chancellor Baker set up 5 years ago the Research Grants and Development Division here at ACCS, he had an eye on it as a means of getting all of the divisions here at ACCS to work together. Research Grants and Development was supposed to be a division that collaborated very closely and supported very closely the other divisions here at ACCS. And I don't know if he knew or I knew at that time how true that would be. But from that initial division that he created 5 years ago, we have then merged with the instructional division, and we continue to work closely with the other divisions here at ACCS to support them and to advance special things at our colleges. This is an example of how the Instruction, Research, and Development Division has collaborated with another division here at ACCS to win something for the system and for the state of Alabama. We recently applied to be the chief contractor with the Alabama Department of Economic and Community Affairs to provide training and technical assistance for the state's Weatherization Assistance Program. What that means is we will coordinate all of the training of people who will be going to households of low-income families and retrofitting those homes to be more energy efficient. We are partnering with Alabama Power on this project, and Bevel State Community College is taking a lead role as the lead institution and the host of what we hope will be a center for this kind of training in the future. So the Instruction, Research, and Development Division normally just works with 4-credit stuff, but we partnered with Workforce Development on this project, and it is going to be non-credit at first, but what we learn through this in the training of non-credit will hopefully then be integrated into our 4-credit programs at our colleges. And hopefully this will serve as a foundation for future training partnerships for solar, wind, and electric vehicle technology. And, oh yes, this was a $6.3 million award. Okay. Do you have any questions about what I have presented today? Okay, Mr. Baker?
Well, this is kind of not a good thing. This month, we're losing a lot of opportunities. And Vicki is retiring. And I understand the reason. She has some family situations that she just needs to be available to assist in. But she's been a contributor of significance to the community college system. You taught in the system, you've worked at a college, and you've done a variety of things internally. And she brings a lot of talent to the table. It's always one of those vacancies that I dread having to find someone as good. And I appreciate everything that you've done for the system, Vicki. I really do.
Mr. Baker, you are very kind, and I am very, very grateful for the opportunity to have served in this system for 30 years. It has been a growing and learning experience the entire time. I want to thank you, members of the board, for the opportunity to keep working in a system that is advancing under your leadership. I'd like to thank you, Chancellor Baker, for all of the opportunities you've afforded me to learn and grow here in the Alabama Community College system. You have been a mentor and a true role model. I have many, many role models and mentors among the presidents sitting here in this audience today, and I can't say how much their leadership and their example has meant to me over the years. Also, the instructional officers, I have learned so much from them. They work so hard in the trenches every day, and they don't often get the accolades that they deserve. The staff of my division is incredible. I could not do one thing without their support, and they are all competent and have tremendous expertise in their areas and are dedicated, hard workers. The staff here at ACCS, my colleagues here at ACCS, I couldn't have done my job without their support. And other agencies in the state, working hand in hand with the other state agencies and government, I have learned so much. Most important, though, I am grateful for our students. And I am so thankful that Wallace Community College Selma brought 2 examples of their fine students today, because seeing that makes it all worthwhile. And I know that after I'm gone, this system is going to keep going and keep changing lives, and we're going to keep seeing examples like we saw today of people who are made better through what we do and who then go out and change the world. And thank you so much for that opportunity.
Dr. Olson, on behalf of the Board of Trustees, thank you is just a small word. But without you and the folks that you work with, I'm sure over these 30 years that you've mentioned, you have made this place, this system, a better place. And so as you transition to another role in this journey called life, we just say Godspeed to you. Thank you so much for your service. Thank you. Well, the Chancellor says that's it. We have Mr. Goodrich, you have one more item?
One thing, I don't know if Dr. Patricia Sims is here today, but I saw where she was named to the Board of the American Association of Community Colleges, and I wanted to congratulate her and thank her for her service. Is she here? She's not here. Okay. And then the second thing, I want to thank Dr. Mitchell and your students too. My mother's alumni, got her RN degree or associate's degree at your college and helped raise 3 kids from 1978 on. So congratulations to you and your students. Thank y'all.
She isn't here because I gave her permission. She had an invitation to attend a major event at the White House.
That trumped us.
And I just hated to tell her she.
I understand.
Let's see, the White House.
One gun.
I'm glad y'all worked that out.
We're proud of her.
But in closing this part of our meeting, again, we welcome our newest additions to this board, Mr. McCartney, Mr. Houston, Mr. Lightsey, and we got a returning Beatle that's joining us again, John Mitchell, who is signed up for another run. So John, we thank you as well for your service. Unless we have any other items that come before us, the work session will actually take place in this room. It's about 11:14 now. If we could reconvene in here in, we'll say 15 minutes. We'd like to get started with the work session because we do know there's the forecast of some pretty nasty weather hovering, and so we'll want to try to get through that part of it. And for those who have to travel, we want to make sure you have a bit of safety or get ahead of the storm. So this meeting is adjourned. See you in a bit.
Great job. Thank you.
I am ready.
Você tem que dar, que prometeu meu bem. Mande o meu anel que de volta eu lhe mando o seu também. Mande a carta em que eu dizia o amor não tem fim. Eu lhe mando outra explicando tintim por tintim. Você tem que devolver o que era meu bem meu. Mande o meu retrato e ponha outro em seu lugar. Morrei um rei, salve o rei que vai chegar. Não sei sofrer, não sei chorar, eu sei me conformar. Bom, 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 babô, bailo, bailo, bam, bam, bam. Bailo, bailo, bam, bam, borororó, duro. Você tem que dar, que prometeu meu bem. Mande o meu anel que de volta eu lhe mando o seu também. Mande a carta em que eu dizia o amor não tem fim. Que eu lhe mando outra explicando tintim por tintim. Você tem que devolver o que era meu bem meu. Mande o meu retrato e ponha outro em seu lugar. Morrei um rei, salve o rei que vai chegar. Não sei sofrer, não sei chorar, eu sei me conformar. Bom, 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 babô, bailo, bailo, bam, bam, bam. Bailo, bailo, bam, bam, borororó. Você tem que dar, o que prometeu meu bem. Mande o meu anel que de volta eu lhe mando o seu também. Mande a carta em que eu dizia o amor não tem fim. Que eu lhe mando outra explicando tintim por tintim. Você tem que devolver o que era meu bem meu. Mande o meu retrato e ponha outro em seu lugar. Morrei um rei, salve o rei que vai chegar. Não sei sofrer, não sei chorar, eu sei me conformar. Não sei sofrer,
Vai pegar feito bocejo, ou que só sentido ver, instigado num lampejo, despertado pelo beijo, que o baile parou pra ver. Da machinha fez silêncio, no silêncio escutei uma desritmia em meu coração que se instalou de vez. Bim bom, bim bim bom bom, bim bom, bim bim bom, bim bom, bim bim bom bom, bim bom, bim bim bom, bim bim.
É só isso, meu baião, e não tem mais nada não. O meu coração pediu assim só. Bim bom, bim bim bom bom, bim bom, bim bim bom, bim bom. Bim bom, bim bim bom bom, bim bom, bim bim bom, bim bim. É só isso, meu baião, e não tem mais nada não. O meu coração pediu assim só. Bim bom, bim bim bom bom, bim bom, bim bim bom, bim bom. Bim bom, bim bim bom bom, bim bom, bim bim bom, bim bim. É só isso, meu baião, e não tem mais nada não. O meu coração pediu assim só. Bim bom, bim bim bom bom, bim bom, bim bim bom, bim bom. Bim bom, bim bim bom bom, bim bom, bim bim bom, bim
é só isso, meu baião. E não tem mais nada, não. O meu coração pediu assim, só bim bom, bim bom, bim bim.
Olha, quem vê cara não vê rosto mais bonito. Quem vê corpo não vê nada mais perfeito. Quem se chega se amarra no teu jeito. Quem te toca fica louco de paixão. Pra mim não tem saída. Você na minha vida é só tentação. Olha, tô tentando fazer a nova bossa nova, misturando Dom Juan com Casa Nova, escrevendo qualquer coisa muito louca, pra no fim pedir um beijo em tua boca. Não dá pra esconder, eu quero te dizer, você é um avião. Toda vez que eu tento ligar pra você, tá na secretária, eu vou estar ocupado. Já deixei recado, já mandei dizer que eu não posso mais, estou apaixonado. Olha, qualquer coisa passa aqui no fim de tarde. Tô sozinho, tô morrendo de saudade. Com você a vida tem mais poesia. É uma nova bossa nova de alegria. Na cara e na coragem, você é uma viagem pro meu coração. Toda vez que eu tento ligar pra você, tá na secretária, eu vou estar ocupado. Já deixei recado, já mandei dizer que eu não posso mais, estou apaixonado. Olha, qualquer coisa passa aqui no fim de tarde. Tô sozinho, tô morrendo de saudade. Com você a vida tem mais poesia. É uma nova bossa nova de alegria. Na cara e na coragem, você é uma viagem pro meu coração. Cara, tu muda da bandeira do mudara, tu muda da bandeira do mudara, tu muda da bandeira do mudara, tu muda banqueiro da bandeira. Pra que levar bagagem? É só pose e decolagem. Você é um avião. Você é um avião, você é um avião, você é um avião, você é um avião, 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 avião.
A work session.
I'm very particular who I give it out to.
Yes, please do.
So, yes.
Tell them you met the other Valerie.
The better.
Okay.
Head it up.
If everyone would kindly take your seats, we have a handful of items on today's agenda for the work session. And we are mindful that the weather is changing pretty fast out there. So we want to move through these as quickly as we can, but if there are questions or comments, we will definitely entertain those. So
Good morning to you all. I will attempt to be as expeditious as I possibly can be. The first item is a request that the Board of Trustees adopt a resolution evidencing its undertaking to define and self-evaluate the board's responsibilities and expectations in compliance with SACS COC Principle 4.2 subsection G. The draft resolution is attached to the action item, and it describes in detail the activities of the Board of Trustees in the calendar year 2022 as those activities relate to the individual obligations of the board pursuant to statute. Do any of you have any questions relating to this item?
No.
The next item is an annual request to the Board of Trustees to approve the salary schedules for the colleges and ATN. This year's salary schedules include a 2% cost of living increase that was approved by the legislature to include the cost of fringe benefits. Secondly, an adjustment to the adult education instructor salary schedule, which will cost approximately $900,000. And finally, a 30-year salary step that was approved by the legislature that will cost approximately $1 million. The salary schedules, if approved, will go into effect September 1 for all non-instructors, and for faculty, the salary schedules will go into effect at the beginning of the fall semester. Do any of you have any questions relating to this item?
I would just offer a comment, David. I think this is a very appropriate and timely one to be coming before us. As we had talked about earlier during Boone's presentation, in terms of us having the funding and support this year, that some of that funding and support obviously can and will be going towards the salaries, increases, the COLA adjustments, as noted here. So we're happy to see that this one has made its way onto our agenda. So thank you.
The next item is Coastal Alabama's request to increase the meal plan on the Bay Minette campus and to add a meal plan at the Bruton campus. The increase on the Bay Minette campus will be $250 per semester. The new meal plan at the Bruton campus will be $900 per semester, and that will cover 2 meals a day over a 16-week semester period. Dr. Pouncey has included a financial analysis of the costs and revenues that will be generated, and if this is approved, it will go into effect in the fall semester 2023. Any questions on this item? The next item is Bishop State's request that the Board of Trustees approve an increase in the college's special building fee from $10 to $20 per credit hour. And if approved, the special building fee increase would go into effect in fall semester 2023. The anticipated revenues annually from this increase will be $500,000 and will be used to aid in the payment of the college's outstanding bond debt. Presently, the deficit for the bond debt is being covered by unrestricted funds, and the addition of the special building fee funds will allow those funds to be used for other purposes. Are there any questions relating to this item? The final item is a facilities matter, so I will turn the floor over to Mark Salmon.
Good morning, board members. We'll wait for the slide. Thank you. We have for you the recommendation for consideration of demolition of a building for part of Central Alabama, at the Alexander City campus. As you look at this slide that we included in the packet, this is an older building that has been vacated for a good number of years. We have since, this building was vacated, moved the library program into a new library facility. And as the campus is right-sized in its facilities to match enrollment, it has been deemed that this location in this building can come down and is no longer needed. We have a number of items that will be associated with the project to identify the hazardous materials, lead, asbestos, and a few other things so that the demolition contractor can properly isolate and then dispose of those during the demolition process. We expect that we will receive bids back for this project, board members, towards the end of June and be able to bring the results back to you if this project exceeds a $500,000 threshold. Board members, any questions about the demolition of the old library at the Alexander City campus of Central Alabama? Thank you, board members.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. That was the final item that we have listed on today's work session agenda. Unless we have any other items, this work session is concluded, and safe travels. Thank you.
Thank you. Great job.